In the vast, silent theater of space, a celestial wanderer was making its grand entrance. Discovered in late 2019, Comet ATLAS, officially known as C 2019Y4, was destined for a spectacular rendezvous with our Sun. Astronomers watched, breathless, as it began a journey that promised to be one for the history books. Early on, Atlas was a faint, unassuming smudge in the sky, just another icy body from the distant Oort cloud. But as it hurtled closer to the inner solar system, something extraordinary began to happen. It started brightening, and not just by a little. It was brightening at an astonishing rate. Far faster than any typical comet. By March 2020, its luminosity had increased by a staggering factor of 4,000 since its discovery. The astronomical community was buzzing. Predictions flew that Atlas could become a great comet, an object so brilliant it would be visible to the naked eye, perhaps even during the day. It was shaping up to be the celestial event of the decade. A shimmering jewel set against the twilight sky. Everyone was preparing their telescopes, their cameras, their hopes. What makes a comet like Atlas so captivating? These are pristine relics from the formation of our solar system, over 4.5 billion years ago. They are cosmic time capsules, composed of ice, dust, and rock. As a comet approaches the Sun, the intense solar radiation heats its surface. This process, called sublimation, turns the solid ice directly into gas, creating a glowing atmosphere around the nucleus called a coma. Solar wind and radiation pressure then sweep this gas and dust away, forming the iconic tails that can stretch for millions of miles across space. We were about to witness this ancient process unfold in the most dramatic way imaginable. Excitement for Comet Atlas was fueled by its potential lineage. Its orbit was remarkably similar to the Great Comet of 1844, leading scientists to speculate that Atlas might be a fragment of the same parent body that broke apart centuries ago. If this was true, it could be carrying the same volatile, ice-rich composition that made its predecessor so magnificent. Hopes were sky-high. Would this be a repeat performance? Would we see a tail arching across our night sky, a sight that has inspired awe and wonder in humanity for millennia? But space is a place of beautiful and brutal truths. Just as Comet Atlas was nearing its peak brilliance, something went wrong. In early April 2020, the rapid brightening suddenly stopped. Then, it began to fade. Amateur and professional astronomers alike turned their instruments toward the comet, and the images they captured told a heartbreaking story. The single, solid point of light that was the comet's nucleus had elongated. Then it broke apart, like a celestial diamond shattering under immense pressure. The heart of Comet Atlas had disintegrated. The immense gravitational forces of the Sun, combined with the explosive outgassing from its superheated ices, had become too much for its fragile structure to bear. What was once a promising, solid core had fractured into a cascade of smaller, glittering fragments. The dream of a great comet was over. Telescopes like the Hubble Space Telescope were quickly pointed at the unfolding drama. The images were nothing short of breathtaking. Hubble captured the sharpest views yet of the comet's demise, resolving dozens of individual icy pieces, some as small as a house. These fragments were enveloped in a ghostly shroud of dust and gas, a sunlit tail marking the comet's own funeral procession. It was a poignant, beautiful spectacle of cosmic destruction. We were witnessing, in real time, the life cycle of a comet playing out on a human timescale. Instead of a single, brilliant object, we saw a string of celestial pearls, each with its own faint coma and tail, continuing along the original path. It was a completely different kind of show than the one we had anticipated, but no less profound. The slow-motion disintegration offered scientists an unprecedented opportunity to study the inner workings of a comet's nucleus. What causes a comet to break apart like this? The nucleus of a comet is often described as a dirty snowball, but it's not a solid, uniform object. It's more like a loose agglomeration of ice and rock, held together by its own weak gravity. As it nears the Sun, the ices inside don't just melt, they vaporize explosively. If the nucleus has fractures or weak points, these violent jets of gas can act like internal dynamite, tearing the entire structure apart from the inside out. For Atlas, this process was likely accelerated by its rapid heating. Its journey from the frigid depths of space to the sun's furnace was simply too fast, too intense. The thermal shock was catastrophic. The very same process that was making it shine so brightly was also the engine of its own destruction. It's a fundamental paradox of cometary life to be seen. They must self-destruct, and sometimes, that destruction is total. The debris from the breakup continued its journey towards the sun. Each fragment, a miniature comet in its own right, continued to shed gas and dust. Astronomers tracked these pieces as they rounded the sun at perihelion, their closest approach. Many of the smaller fragments completely vaporized, turning into nothing but gas and fine dust. A few of the larger chunks survived the fiery passage, but they were dim, ghostly remnants of the once mighty comet. The story of Comet ATLAS is not one of failure, but one of scientific revelation. It became one of the most well-documented cometary disintegrations in history. The data collected from its demise provided invaluable insights into the composition and structure of cometary nuclei. We learned how they are put together and how they fall apart. It was a cosmic anatomy lesson, courtesy of Hubble and telescopes around the world. These events remind us that the universe is dynamic, unpredictable, and constantly in flux. While we may have lost the chance to see a great comet in our skies, we gained something arguably more valuable, a deeper understanding of these enigmatic visitors from the dawn of our solar system. The ghost of Atlas, its trail of dust and fragments, will continue to orbit the sun, a silent testament to its brief, brilliant, and ultimately explosive life. And so, we continue to watch the skies. For every comet that fizzles out, another one is waiting to be discovered, another cosmic story waiting to unfold. The legacy of Comet Atlas is a powerful reminder that in space, even an ending can be a spectacular and enlightening beginning. It wasn't the show we expected, but it was the one the universe gave us, a beautiful, ephemeral display of creation and destruction, played out on a cosmic scale. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the cosmos. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the wonders of our universe.